welcome to Race for the White House, a show where we get you the latest from US elections. Now we're just a few hours away from the historic presidential debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris in Pennsylvania. So on today's show, we'll tell you how Donald Trump can win the debate in just under 2 minutes. Also on the show, we'll tell you about a new controversy triggered by Harris's appreciation post of her grandfather. All of this and much more, so let's get started. First up, American presidential debates are not one on policy. Rather, they're one on theatrics. And the last time US presidential candidates met on stage, they traded barbs and personal takedowns in a debate that turned the election upside down. But tonight, the Harris versus Trump debate will provide an opportunity for both the parties for a do-over. Now, the candidates will have no greater opportunity to make a mark after they shake hands in Philadelphia today. But who can get the best of tonight's presidential exchange? Let's find out. Now, Harris and Trump both have their own strengths and weaknesses when it comes to debate. Harris is seen as being better at staying calm under pressure and, of course, as more knowledgeable on policy issues, whereas Trump is seen as more persuasive and more physically intimidating. But the former president might have an edge that can help him win the debate tonight. In fact, this advantage can help Trump win the debate in just under 2 minutes. But what is that Trump card? Well, last week the debate host ABC News held a virtual coin flip to decide the podium placement and the order of closing statements. Trump won the coin toss and decided to speak last during the closing statements. And now, his 2-minute closing statement will be extremely crucial. Closing statements can prove to be game changers for several reasons. First and foremost, they serve as the candidates' final opportunity to summarize their key points and reinforce their main arguments. And after hours of debate, it's that moment when voters are looking for a concise and compelling wrap-up. Candidates often use this time to address any remaining questions and, of course, appeal directly to the undecided voters. And further, they also use this time to humanize themselves, connect emotionally with the audience. But now again, the question is, can a politician like Donald Trump sustain the required momentum through the 90-minute-long war of words? Well, as usual, Trump's temperament will be under scrutiny. Many think that after being in American politics for about 8 years, he is unable to change his approach. For many, Trump's statecraft is seen as a political entertainment. And for now, reports suggest that his advisors have been urging him to tone down the personal attacks, especially the ones with the hints of sexism against Harris. But for the incumbent vice president, the stakes are higher because the American public knows far more about Trump than Harris. And one approach that Harris can actually take to win the debate will be doing all that she can to ensure that Trump loses his temper. But goading him into rude interruptions will be difficult in this debate. Now, the candidates' microphones will be muted when it's not their turn to speak. And until we see what happens on stage, Trump might have an upper hand with the closing statement opportunity. But you should also know that debates are unpredictable. Just ask Joe Biden. Moving on. Kamala Harris's impression on the American people has so far been marked by a vague stand on policy issues. But despite the absence of clarity on key issues, Harris quickly rose in the polls as compared to Biden. However, the Trump campaign has repeatedly been attacking Harris for avoiding interviews with media and for not having a policy tab. But now, on the eve of presidential debate, the Kamala Harris campaign has added a new issues section on her website with about 19 policy goals. So, the policy titled A New Way Forward attempts to build on the policies of the Biden administration. Now, central to Harris's agenda is the creation of an opportunity economy. This is designed to empower every American. Harris has promised a tax cut worth about $6,000 for families with newborns. It will ensure that no one earning under $400,000 will face a tax increase. Now, the new policy focuses on lowering the cost for healthcare. Harris also intends to expand the Affordable Care Act and make this tax credit enhancement permanent. Further, in passing the Inflation Reduction Act, Harris's climate agenda focuses on continued investments in clean energy and environmental justice. She also aims to lower household energy costs and create millions of clean energy jobs. Additionally, Harris has prioritized gun violence prevention, building on her previous work to pass major gun safety legislations. And for this, her plan includes banning assault weapons, expanding background checks, and implementing red flag laws. Now, with a heavy focus on the economy, Harris's online policy platform at large proposes big government solutions. The policy list comes after facing heavy criticism that her campaign lacked substance. Now, Harris has notably done only one interview since entering the White House race, while Trump has done several as well as numerous other public appearances. Now, ahead of the debate, Kamala Harris made a heartwarming post on National Grandparents' Day. She recalled the achievement of her maternal grandparents, and in the post she shared on X, Harris included an old photograph of her family with a heartfelt message reflecting on their influence on her life. Now, in the post, Harris also claimed that her grandfather had participated in the fight for India's independence. And then, as expected, Harris's post quickly went viral, gathering about 2 million views. However, the reaction it received were mixed. Critics questioned the authenticity of her claims about her grandfather's role in the independence movement of India. Many social media users disputed Harris' assertion about her grandfather. Some even pointed out that he had been a member of the British Imperial Secretariat Service. Remember, it was renamed to Central Secretariat Service following India's independence. So the users actually questioned, how could a serving bureaucrat be a part of the independence movement opposing the same government? While some commented that this is a fake claim just like her job at McDonald's. Harris is often called her grandfather, P.V. Gopalan, one of the original independence fighters in India. However, official records show that Gopalan was actually a civil servant. But despite the criticism, many users showed support for Harris as well, calling the post a beautiful tribute to wisdom and strength of her grandparents. As the race for the White House intensifies, a newly created group called Hindus for America First has announced that it will endorse Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. In a bold move that could shift dynamics in the upcoming presidential race, the group revealed plans to launch a campaign against Kamala Harris. So, White House correspondent Rohit Sharma recently spoke to the group's founder and chairman Utsav Sanduja about the polls and their support for Trump. Listen in.
As the battle or the race for the White House intensifies, we've obviously been covering this extensively. There are a lot of endorsements coming along, both on the Trump side of things and also on Kamala Harris' side of things. But it's very interesting to note that at this juncture, a lot of Indian Americans are split. They're trying to understand who they want to vote for. And this is the most important part where some of these endorsements can actually change the view of some of these voters. Joining us right now is Utsav Sanduja. He's the founder chairman of Hindus for America First. Utsav, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate the honor to be here, Rohit.
And Utsav, first things first, we know your organization, you've personally endorsed President Donald Trump in this election cycle. But what does Hindus for America First represent?
Yeah, so first thing first is Hindus for America First is actually a grassroots movement. It's not an organization per se. It's not like a PAC. It's like a movement of committed Trump supporters, Republican supporters that back Trump. Many of us in this movement are of the Hindu faith, and we support him because he is the right choice for this election. He understands the issues. He knows exactly what is going on with the Hindu American community. For example, he appreciates the fact that, we are very hardworking. We're very, entrepreneurial. We want strong laws. We want strong borders. We want a strong national security. We're very concerned about just the chaos and ruination that's going on globally, and that we're looking for stability in the planet. We're looking for calm and peace at home, and we're looking for economic prosperity. And many of us are in IT, white sector economies. A lot of us are white collar, and in PMCs, we're PMCs. And frankly speaking, we're just looking for a great steady hand that isn't going to start new conflicts, rattle up markets, essentially disenfranchise a lot of us who are Asian American from attending great universities and colleges.
It's very interesting. You said he understands what Hindus stand for. We've obviously seen the rise of Hindu phobia in the U.S. Why do you think he understands it and Kamala Harris does not? I mean, she's got endorsement from South Asian for Harris, Women for Harris. We've seen her engaging with a lot of voters of different, cultures, ethnicity. So what does Kamala Harris does not get that Trump gets?
Well, I take everyone back to a very interesting video in September of 2019, Houston, Texas. Apparently, Kamala Harris was asked a question about India. Now, what India has to do with this, it's actually quite interesting. She was asked about the human rights situation in Kashmir. Apparently, she made a hypothetical describing an abuser. And in that hypothetical, she also described India as, as an abuser, and went into detail about how intervention may be necessary. Now, as a Hindu, I'm loyal to America, of course. But, when we're talking about Kashmir, a lot of our gods have, histories, in that land. There's a lot of folklore. There's a lot of things about that region that really, really matter to us, especially, Shaivites. And I think to myself, as such a comment said by somebody who is of Indian origin, who was raised a Hindu, it's very, very strange. It's very weird. Also, more importantly to the point, as somebody that really believes in ahimsa, I look at President Trump. He's never started any new wars or conflicts. I see a person like Kamala Harris who talks about intervention without really going into detail on what she means. She's been endorsed by Dick Cheney. She's been endorsed by Liz Cheney. She's been endorsed by a plethora of warmongers, including, if I'm not mistaken, John Bolton. And I look at that, and it's shocking. Actually, I don't think John Bolton endorsed her, but I think he did speak well of her. And it's just very, very surprising. And to me, I think as a Hindu, do I want to see bloodshed, or do I want to see a candidate who will, yes, talk to people that America may not exactly get along with, our leaders may not get along with? Yeah, I'd prefer diplomacy. I'd prefer sensible conversations, dialogue. That doesn't mean America has to reduce her military might. That just means simply that we don't have to always start off from a very hostile or provocative kind of perspective on, global powers that we clearly have differing geopolitical interests with.
Okay. All right. So that was a very extensive interview. Thank you so much for speaking with us. We'll obviously be in touch with less than 50 days to election. We'll obviously come back to you for more comments and analysis. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
It's the eve of the historical presidential debate, and the recent opinion polls show that race for the White House remains a neck-to-neck battle. Now, if we take a look at the numbers from the past 24 hours, nationally, Harris is back at the top with an approval rating of about 49%, while Trump is trailing at 47%. The numbers are same in the swing state of Michigan, while in the state of Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and North Carolina, Harris and Trump are at a tie, logged at about 48% rating. Meanwhile, in the crucial state of Pennsylvania, Harris is leading with about 49% rating, while Trump is at 48%. While in the state of Wisconsin, Harris is maintaining a considerable lead of about 50%, while Trump is at 47%. So as the election race reaches its final stretch, the polls are getting more and more tight. We'll keep bringing you more numbers as we reach to the final. So now time for some quick updates from the political landscape in the US that you might have missed. A new report states that Democratic vice presidential nominee Tim Walz had his China travel company shut down by the Nebraska government. The report states that Walz failed to pay about $26 for business operating tax in the year 1998. And the company, co-founded by Walz and his wife Gwen, was first registered in Nebraska in 1995. So in 2002, Walz founded another entity with the same name in Minnesota, which he touted during his 2006 run for Congress. Moving on, Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance has now made a claim that Haitian migrants have been eating their pets in the state of Ohio. Now, the rumors center on the Ohio city of Springfield, which has experienced a surge in recent migration from Haiti. So, making fun of this claim, Republican Senator Ted Cruz actually posted an image of two cats hugging each other due to fear, with the caption, "Please vote for Trump so Haitian immigrants don't eat us." Vance has been speaking out publicly against Haitian migrants in Ohio for months now. And at last, the Michigan Supreme Court has ruled that Robert F. Kennedy's name will remain as the presidential candidate on state's ballot for the November 5 election. Now, this comes despite his request to be removed in a potential blow to Republican Donald Trump. Kennedy dropped out as an independent candidate in the presidential race last month and endorsed Donald Trump. Now, Kennedy has sought to remove his name from ballots in political swing states such as Michigan and Arizona to avoid being a spoiler in the race. Now, Kamala Harris is trying to get into Donald Trump's head right before tonight's debate, rolling out a new ad titled "The Best People." It features scathing assessment of the former president from some top officials in his administration. So take a look as we leave you with these visuals.
Donald Trump said he would choose only the best people to work in his White House. Now those people have a warning for America. Trump is not fit to be president again. Here's his vice president.
Anyone who puts himself over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. It should come as no surprise that I will not be endorsing Donald Trump this year.
His defense secretary.
Do you think Trump can be trusted with the nation's secrets ever again?
No. I mean, it's just irresponsible action that places our service members at risk, places our nation's security at risk.
His national security advisor.
Donald Trump will cause a lot of damage. The only thing he cares about is Donald Trump.
And the nation's highest-ranking military officer.
We don't take an oath to a king or a queen or to a tyrant or a dictator. And we don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator.
Take it from the people who knew him best. Donald Trump is a danger to our troops and our democracy. We can't let him lead our country again.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Thank you for watching Race to the White House. We'll keep bringing you more updates from the US elections.